The facts were that backfired on a lawyer. Several years ago, I went through one of the ugliest chapters of my life, a bitter divorce and custody fight. My ex, Rachel, was convinced I was hiding money, something we joked about once when talking about rich people stashing assets. She twisted that joke into evidence and told her attorney I was laundering cash. I couldn't even afford a lawyer, so I represented myself. Meanwhile, Rachel's attorney, Mr. Carter, acted like he'd been hired not just to win, but to humiliate me. He spoke down to me constantly, like I wasn't even worth the oxygen in the room. Then one afternoon, I received a fat letter from his office. He demanded 3 years of financial records, tax returns, income declarations, receipts, bank statements. Basically, my entire life on paper. The deadline was tight, and printing all of that would have cost me money I simply didn't have. I called Carter to explain. He laughed. If you're as broke as you claim, then what do you even do all day? Send the paperwork or I'll treat your filings as fraudulent and get the IRS involved. That smug tone lit a fire in me. See, what Carter didn't know was that I owned a small tech startup that offered electronic fax services. And that gave me an idea. I gathered everything. Not just the essentials, but everything. Old grocery receipts, CVS coupon slips as long as my arm. Every invoice, every order, every single scrap of paper connected to my finances. Then I turned them into one massive 200-page PDF. To make it extra clear, I added bold black separator pages labeled 2018 taxes, 2019 receipts, 2020 statements. Then I sent it all through eFax. Here's the trick. I set it to auto-redial until the transmission went through successfully, which meant that every time their fax machine jammed or ran out of ink, it would just keep resending. 2 days later, Carter's secretary called me, nearly in tears. Please, stop faxing. Our machine hasn't stopped printing for 48 hours. We've replaced toner twice, and the thing keeps breaking. I told her calmly. Your boss said if I didn't send everything, he'd involve the DA and the IRS. I can't afford that. So until I get written confirmation that my obligation is waived, I'll keep faxing. An hour later, Carter himself got on the phone. Furious. He told me to stop immediately, threatening sanctions and lawsuits. I repeated, put it in writing, and I'll stop. Click. He hung up. About 20 minutes later, I received an email from his office with a signed PDF. I no longer needed to provide the documents. From that day on, Carter never again accused me of hiding money. The threats stopped cold. Sometimes, people in power think they can bully you into submission because you don't have resources. But creativity and persistence can level the playing field. Carter wanted to bury me in paperwork. Instead, he drowned in it himself.